Hi, I'm Shannon. I help women navigate the world of business. I'm from New Jersey. I say water funny and coffee, according to my kids.
Oh, it sounds beautiful.
It sounds beautiful?
I love it.
Oh my God.
Give me more of it, girl.
I have been called bitchy and bossing.
Yeah. I'm Rhonda. I own a retail store. 2 years in, and I still question my sanity. But ultimately, I love it. One of the biggest things I've learned is kind of navigating the world of business, and that's where Shannon and I come together to talk about.
Figure it all out.
Yep. But I think sometimes it takes an unplanned circumstance to come along, upset the apple cart, and then it forces you to do the thing that you were called to do.
Not sometimes. It fucking always happens
right? It does
like
always
that.
happen like
Doesn't
that.
it?
It does, and
Weird.
sometimes it's frustrating because when the what I call the shit hits the fan, and you're like, oh, now what? You're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go through this transition. But then,
well, I think this is when people get. That's when it separates it out. When the shit hits the fan, there are people that shut the fuck down.
That's right.
Become victims. Poor me. This person did this to me.
To do that.
This didn't work out.
Yes.
Well, we all like to do this here.
Yeah.
But then you have to dig down and go, okay, now what? If you're a competitive person and you want to prove whoever messed you over.
Right. Or even to yourself. You have to have that.
Yes,
I'm not going to sink because of this.
Right.
I'm going to figure this out.
Or maybe I suck. Or maybe. Right. No.
You can do that for about maybe 30 minutes, maybe a day. But ultimately, you're like, okay.
And realistically, nobody gives a shit if you've been fucked over. Nobody
They
cares.
don't care. And I think I was stuck on this. I want you guys to care. They don't.
Nobody cares. People have their own things to do.
100%.
People who are in the wrong justify their actions.
Yep.
We talked about this before. It's like situational. Like they'll trash talk someone else who did something wrong. But if they did the same thing, they look at the situation and then justify their actions. And sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But being humans it's a dirty business.
Business.
It's a dirty business.
That is.
I was talking to Roddy yesterday. I'm not allowed to call him the Rush anymore. He told me. Sorry. Okay. And, life is very up and down and left and right. And it's, we were talking about something, and unfortunately his mother has Alzheimer's.
Okay.
That developed when she was 64.
Pretty young.
And she has aphasia, so she can't talk. So the woman just turned 70, way too young. Way too young. And it's not fair. And he's like, he was saying to me, it's not fair. I'm like, but what's fair? Being a human being, what everybody goes through shit.
Yes.
It's not like anybody's sliding by where nothing bad is happening. So I don't know. I think it is fair. I think we're humans, and there's a lot of good and bad and left and right, and it's just sucks. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it doesn't suck. But we can only control what we do. We can't control one other human being. You can't control your husband and how he thinks or what he does. You can't control your kids. You can only control you. And it's very cliche, but I think people forget that. And so when you're saying, how am I doing? I'm fine. So whatever, ups and downs in my business that have been going on, that fair, not fair, it doesn't matter. It is what it is.
It is.
And so how I choose to approach it and what I choose to do is the only thing that matters. And that it may work out and it may not, and that's okay too. Because it does, as you said, open yourself up for transitions, and you go, wow, I guess I'm going down this road, or now I have time to work on this thing I've been thinking about for a year.
Mm-hmm. I think the part that I get stuck in is like, I'd be like, how do I stay positive through that transition? I know, because
it's hard.
I think we instantly go into that negative, the fear, whatever, right? And then you could stay in it, and you can't because you're just hurting yourself.
But there's different levels of positivity. I think we say, how do we stay positive? It doesn't mean we're going to walk around, smile on our face, do a little
Well, that's
jig.
what I always look at
think
people and
you
be like,
need-
what are you doing? I don't want to smack that smile off your face. Like, I'm not feeling it. But
if you can get yourself positive enough to keep grinding and keep going and maybe say, I've been really thinking about this idea. I now have a little bit of time. Maybe I need to lean into
do you think that who you're surrounded with, your person that you can vent to makes that difference for staying positive?
I think it depends upon the person. I think we also, and maybe this is a woman thing, if we vent to our, say, a male partner, men tend to want to fix everything.
They do.
And I know what we do at home is if I'm going to vent, I'll say, I don't want you to fix this. I just want you to listen.
Yeah, I've been doing that lately.
And that makes a huge difference. And it's very hard for men to do that because in their nature is to fix it or whatever, or to get angry or to I'm going to fuck them up, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we were having this conversation about something completely different. I said, no, I personally think you go as high as you fucking possibly can. If you conduct yourself with grace and class in the worst moments when people are being the worst to you, that's very difficult to do.
Right.
However, I think that's how you need to do it. One, because you can look back in 5 years and say to yourself, I handled that right. I did okay.
Yeah.
Number two, it drives other fucking people nuts when you don't lower yourselves to their level.
Yeah, it does.
So there's a little bit of an edge there.
But you've kind of had some practice in that. Like the first time this happens to you and you're faced with, it's like, everything imploded. Now what am I going to do with my life? And it feels like then you learn to pick yourself up and move forward, and it's going to look different. It's going to feel different, all that. You've been there a few times. Does it get easier?
Of course it does, because you learn so much more.
Yeah.
And you do learn, and this is very hard for me, you do learn to keep your circle small.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
That was sad. That was hard for me to learn.
And you learn who you can trust and who you cannot. And you can be friendly and you can have relationships. And it doesn't mean you're going to be protected from people doing, people having a lack of integrity or a lack of business ethics. You're not going to prevent yourself from that. But I think it protects your psyche in a certain way if you don't if your expectations are where they need to be. And in business, we have business people, but they have families and they have desires and they have needs and they have personal problems. And you can have friends with business clients or peers or whatever, but I think you have to be very
it's like, don't have high expectations.
Yeah, they're ultimately they are business friends.
Yes.
And you can have business friends, but manage your expectations.
I like that.
You should expect more from your tight circle, but your tight circle, chances are, have been around for many years. You can trust them.
Yeah.
They are the people who are sticking by you, and we all have those people. Yeah. But ultimately, every single person who runs a business and entrepreneur is going to get fucked over by someone who they thought they could trust.
Yes.
It's going to happen. The only thing you can do, you can be upset and you can be disappointed. I think disappointment is I lean towards, I get so disappointed that the person has not acted in the way that I thought they would.
Well, because you're, in a sense, expecting them to act like you would.
Correct. And we can't do that.
No, I know. I just learned that.
And And I, a lot of it's how you were raised. I was raised, and I don't know if East Coast is different. I don't know if it was my parents, but loyalty was a huge thing. huge. You be loyal to the people who have been loyal to you.
Well, this is the Wild West out here. I don't know if we get that.
I don't think you do.
No,
I don't think
so.
you get that. And it has taken me many years to be like, what?
Well, exactly.
What?
Yeah.
So I've moved
don't
I'm
expect
loyal
that.
to the people I'm loyal to, my very tight circle.
Yep.
And then, and Maddie, you're in my tight circle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you should expect a certain level of professionalism and integrity in business from other people. And if they don't show that, you don't fuck with them anymore. I do not believe in trash talking people behind their back.
Yeah.
I do not believe in any of that. I think people make their decisions. I don't know why people make certain decisions. And if they haven't communicated them to me, I'm not going to make assumptions. But it's not easy being a person, and it's not human.
Yeah.
Again, it's a dirty business.
It is.
And all you can do is really level up as much as you can.
Well, I was excited today to hear your how you're going to handle this new transition that you're going to be going through, because instantly I go into the negative, but I mean, then I was like, okay, fine, then let's utilize social media. Like, what if you solve one of your problems, get on there and okay, let's try this out, rent the space out, do this, promote more women, whatever. And to see you come in with this, no, I got this.
I got it. I'm very calm.
Awesome.
Transitions to me are opportunities, and clients come and go.
Right.
And people come and go.
Yeah.
And all we can do as a business and our business is provide the best service, the best products, the best whatever. That's my job. If people want them, great. The ones who, I mean, because we provide services and products to entrepreneurs and startups and things like that, over a period of time, you get to figure out the people who are going to make it and who aren't. And
do tell. How can you tell?
How they conduct themselves on a daily basis I know for me, and I know you're like this too, you are constantly working your business. It's never ending.
It's never
you
ending.
are you do it your way. I don't do it your way. I don't do it on social. I don't do any of that.
Okay.
I'm the nerd of the century, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna fucking code something I see that people need.
Yes.
Right? That's how I go to it. That's calming for me. It's coding and doing all that kind of stuff and creating websites. It's almost like coloring for some people.
Oh, wow.
It's calming for me. It's a puzzle that I want to put together. I don't do the way you do it. That's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
I have such admiration for people who are on social media all the time and put it all out there. I was also not raised that way. I was raised, you keep your shit here and then solve your problems.
I was supposed to be like that. I was raised like that too. And it's tough because I'm part Italian, and I'm telling you, it's like that fiery blood. It just was like it didn't fit in too well to my upbringing.
It doesn't even fit in too well to where we live here.
I know.
I mean, you would have been fine in Jersey.
Oh, 100%. I'm
my
like,
gosh.
yeah.
But I think it's important to understand that when you go through a transition and when you go through something that kind of upsets the way things are going now, I also can look at the benefits. And for anybody listening, and I'm sure Maddie's taping this, we lost a client that I can look at the benefits. Do I see, and losing clients not a big deal. You go in and out. They have their own businesses to
100%,
run.
yeah.
And the economy is not great right now. And things are fucking expensive. So it's difficult. But we'll go back to, I can see people who are going to be successful because they are open to listening to people who have gone down the road ahead of them, how do I say this? I'm going to try to say this in the right way. I did a blog post about this a couple weeks ago. When you're listening to advice from someone, if you're an entrepreneur and you're just starting out, I'm talking to you people who are listening to us, and you're starting out, or maybe you're in a transition phase, you've been doing it for a couple of years, you're like, okay, now I got to move, I got to grow. The advice you take, look at the person you're taking advice from, okay? Leaders go to other people who have proven success within their industry. If you're taking your advice from your husband, who is brilliant in I don't know, in whatever he does in construction, he has a construction company. Let's say something like that. This is not someone specifically I'm talking about, and he's giving you advice on how to run your shoe shop.
Right.
He may be brilliant in his area. That is a different set of discipline.
Yeah.
It's a different set of expertise. So all those bells and whistles, and there are some smooth talking people out there who will sell, who could sell ice to. I can't say Eskimos, can I?
Why not?
I heard that was a bad thing to say.
Isn't that just like people?
I don't know.
I
won't say it. That was my rewind. Anyway, there are some people who throw up all this, that, and the other thing, and we'll get you doing this fast, and this will happen. It doesn't work that way ever.
I've been on
and if you're
that.
looking for shortcuts, you're going the wrong way.
Yes.
There aren't shortcuts. So when I say I see people and I can tell it's the decisions they're making on a daily basis. First of all, are they working their business 24/7? Because in the beginning, you have to.
You do.
Now, you do it on social. Doesn't mean everybody has to do it that way.
No.
You have to find your comfort level on how to work it. But make sure it's in your area of expertise. You don't need to learn other discipline. There are people out there who work it every day.
Yeah.
I work digital marketing all day, every day. I know the changes from last week to this week.
Yeah.
I couldn't do what you do, Rhonda, because I'm not in that area.
Right.
Now, I can tell you the digital marketing part of it. But that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very difficult because people want control and they want to do their own thing. But some people just aren't entrepreneurs, and some people aren't down for the dirty that it takes.
It's tough.
It's tough. No, again, we've said this before. No one's going to give you a trophy because you did a good job.
No, they're not.
Nobody cares what you're doing.
100%.
Nobody cares how hard you're working.
That's right.
No, nobody cares if someone fucked you over or if you got a sale or if you didn't get a sale. Nobody cares.
That's right.
You have to care. That has to be all you care about. And if you don't care about it enough, if you only care about being successful and famous and are trying to find shortcuts by aligning yourself with easy, and all those things are out there, those MLM marketing here. Create your course and then sell it to 10 more people and create your marketing. First of all, you've never marketed. How are you going to fucking create a course? By going to a course? Well, you're putting money in that person's pocket.
Yeah, I did that, by the way.
But I understand why that
because
seems...
I had a need, right? Mm-hmm. And it's smoke and mirrors out there, right? And it was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Well, by the time I spent my thousands of dollars on that course, I didn't learn anything that I already didn't know. I was so mad. And their whole gist more or less was join our Facebook group now.
Right.
And you can learn off each other within that Facebook group. And it was like, but I already know all this.
And is that marketing? No. That's like a pyramid scheme.
Oh, 100% it is. And now I see people locally doing it. They've never ran a business in their life. And they're out there trying to show all these people how to do this. And I'm like, this is a pyramid scheme. You're just selling them this talk. When you know what, you got to be in the trenches.
There's no sustainability to that. Those are flash in the pan. Those are maybe quick money. Maybe they'll make a grand here, a grand there.
But the people like me who bought into it, then you're like, that's not really sustainable. They're not giving you anything. You have got to get in the trenches, and it's daily, right? I mean,
it's daily.
It's not glamorous. It's not right now. You have your long-term goals, you have your short-term goals, and then you're like, okay, but then now you have your daily things that you got to do.
Right. That's why hire the people who actually have done the work,
Yep.
have proven success,
Yep.
are in their trenches, in their accounting trenches, in their
Yes.
marketing trenches, whatever the trenches are.
Yeah.
If you're starting a business and you want it to be successful, again,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to do it alone by cutting corners and saving money here and saving money there, by figuring out how to do social media in a weekend.
Nope.
Your kids should not be doing your social media business. Okay?
No.
Your friends, right? Your friends who have 5,000 followers because they do TikTok dances cannot run your social media business. Those are two different things. But people like to cut corners on those things because
I hear people say, I can't do my own social media. So this is a whole nother podcast, right? Because you're like, I hear this all the time. They're like, I can't do my own social media because I'm an introvert. And you're like, well, okay, let's stop with what we keep telling ourselves. Those are excuses. If you own a business, you're gonna.
if you can't do it, hire
Yeah.
someone to do it then.
And it probably shouldn't be your kid.
No, God, no. No,
Right.
no. Hire like an expert.